Changing pace now, the family of a South African businessman who died in custody in Mozambique says they want to conduct their own autopsy. Hanekom's family is now calling on the South African government to intervene. They want help repatriating his body to the closest South African town. Joining us on the line is Andre's wife, Frances. Frances, good afternoon and welcome to ENCA Lunchtime. Our sincere condolences. You believe that the Mozambican officials that have conducted their own autopsy are lying about your husband's cause of death?
Sir, you are not very clear, but what I can hear you asking me is what is happening beside of the Mozambican authorities with my husband's body.
Indeed, indeed. The allegation from you is that Mozambican officials are lying about your husband's cause of death.
Yeah, they did a autopsy without telling me. I had to sign a permission, which I would have granted, and I was supposed to be granted the opportunity to be present. They were basically finished when my lawyer got there. Somebody informed us. Then I sent the body down to Maputo to do the necessary paperwork. And here in Pemba, I need a document to say that there's no infectious diseases. Now, on the birth certificate, they've written encephalopathy and hypoxia. And now all of a sudden they want to change the diagnosis to encephalitis, which was caused by bacterial or virus infection. But the doctor in the hospital said to me, Andre is being treated for pneumonia. And the doctor that admitted him said to me, Andre's got clear signs of being poisoned. So there's 4 diagnoses. The 4th one is an attempt to say that Andre's got an infectious disease. And then the body cannot go across the border for an autopsy from our side to confirm what they find in their autopsy this side. And what I am trying to obtain is a special permission to take his body to the Tonga department just across the border so that our South African authorities can do a second opinion autopsy on the body of Andre.
So, Mrs. Hanekom, let's just remind ourselves, your husband was arrested by Mozambican authorities on what many have called trumped-up terrorism charges. What exactly do you think has happened to your husband, and what do you think the allegations around terrorism, where have they stemmed from?
So there's a long story behind it, but we've got a very prime property in Palma, and all the indications is there's people that want the property because gas exploration is going to start with serious upgrading now, and there will be contracts that's coming to our property. There is people that wanted to sell our property, but they can't. It's Andre's. And to get rid of him, they must connect him in such a way that the government can get rid of him. And then the property will be free for grabs. That is where everything started.
So, Mrs. Hanekom, to reiterate then, what you're essentially alleging now is that your husband was arrested on these trumped-up terrorism charges relating to land that you guys are now occupying that they want you to vacate, and you're further suggesting that he was poisoned in captivity, resulting in his death.
Yes, they don't have really the proof. There's very weak proof, and the judgment was supposed to happen now. And the case was a sure win for us. So if he's a dead man cannot be judged. So what is happening now?
Mrs. Hanekom, what has been the response from South African authorities? What has been the response from South African authorities on your request to have your husband's remains brought across the South African border for an independent autopsy?
I beg your pardon?
Has the government of South Africa responded to your request to have your husband's remains moved across the South African border for an independent autopsy?
They have told me that without that certificate, they cannot allow his body to be moved across the border. I asked them to intervene and get a special permission to get into the Tonga facility just across the border. I haven't received any response yet.
Thank you very much for joining us on ENCA Lunchtime there. That is Frances Hanekom, the wife of deceased South African Andre Hanekom, who died while being imprisoned in Mozambique on terrorism charges.